This is MusicalTalk.
MusicalTalk.
The UK's independent musical theatre podcast.
MusicalTalk, the UK independent musical theatre podcast.
G'day, welcome to this week's episode of MusicalTalk. I am Nick Hudson. We are having an Australian special today, and I'm going to stop doing this accent because my co-host is laughing his head off. Reuben Kaye, who is actually a real Australian person.
Hello.
G'day, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. We're going to be hearing from a fan of MusicalTalk called Dom, who's going to be discussing his view on King Kong that he saw in...
stretched across the pond. You have stretched your tentacles over the world.
My what?
Your tentacles.
Oh, okay, right.
Not the other one. That requires a clamp, and I didn't bring that today.
We are going to be discussing / tearing apart The Sound of Music, the recent telecast version. So, Reuben, what is it you cannot face about...
Oh my God, that line! The fact that they adjusted that line,
For the Americans.
Okay, so for the people who don't know, there is a famous line in The Sound of Music. Oh, excuse me.
Studio doorbells.
Sorry, I've just got to take a delivery. The sailors are here. The line... Sailor boys! Aznavour fans, anyone? The line in the movie is said by... Mother Superior, which is, Maria, what is it you can't face? But in her accent, of course, Maria, what is it you can't face? And in
what is it you can't face,
What is
Maria?
it you can't face, Maria? And which is fantastic and amazing.
And slightly rude.
But that's why it's amazing. But now, stop it! I'm trying to be a professional. Sorry, it's the servants' day off. They got deported. And in this new version, Audra McDonald, who is wonderfully colourblind casted as the Mother Superior, looking somewhat tanned for a Mother Superior in Austria in the 30s, has to say, Maria, what is it you cannot face, Maria? And it is a total cheat. You just go...
Do you think, that was maybe a personal decision from her? Or is it American sense as being American?
American sense as being Americans. Audra McDonald is an adult, and everyone can see, that would have... It was just... Do you know what?
What's she doing to the accent?
No, she was... Please. She was one step away from singing Fabulous Baby! I was going, oh, hello. Suddenly we're in Sister Act, are we? Here's the thing. For me, Nick, and I'm sorry if I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here.
Your soapbox is waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
He's bored. Keep your arms and legs inside the car at all times.
The original Sound of Music is untouchable. It is fantastic. It is funny. It is camp. It is adorable. It is beautifully directed and beautifully sung.
Well written.
Well written. The only thing that I fault with the movie is that the Baroness's two songs... This is right, isn't it? They're not in the movie. Played... beautifully by Laura Benanti, who is perfection in this movie. It is worth watching to see her because she is giving a stand-up performance. This is in the remake.
Yeah.
The Baroness's songs are cut in the movie, and in this they are aired, and they're gorgeous, beautiful songs. But for the rest of it, you just go, why have you remade this? And I understand why. It's because they wanted to get it. How am I trying to say this? The good thing about this remake, and the best part about it, is it rated in America fantastically high, almost everywhere except major cities where there are people with taste. But for the people who watched it and thought, oh my God, that's fantastic, this is brilliant, they will probably look up the original, and maybe they might even go and see a musical.
But do you... There are almost two versions of The Sound of Music. There is the Broadway show,
yeah,
and there is the film.
Yes.
The Julie Andrews film.
Yeah.
Which was slightly tampered with. I think they added songs to it.
Yeah.
Because My Favourite Things wasn't in the original musical, and it was swapped round to be in the bedroom or in the gardens.
Yeah.
And then we had the Palladium production, the Andrew Lloyd Webber searching for Jesus or whatever it was in The Sound of Music.
Yeah, Sound of Music, the Arena Spectacular.
Yes, well, they blended the two together.
Yeah, to make it more accessible and a selling point, because Andrew Lloyd Webber is always one to hold up an artistic vision over commercialism, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Continue.
So he put the two productions together. He put My Favourite Things in it, and then he had all the cut songs that weren't in the movie.
Yeah. Which is, I think, but that's...
So which one did you get here, in the Carrie Underwood version, as it shall henceforth be known?
Do you know what? Like a war veteran returning from Vietnam, it's an entire blank, but it keeps on coming back in flashes, horrid flashes.
Was it a live...
Yes, it was totally live.
Production?
It wasn't a theatre production. It was a live studio.
Done as a theatre production or done as a film?
No, done as if it were a theatre production. As if it were like the filming of a sitcom, the filming of a TV show, or a show in front of a live studio audience. But it wasn't a live studio audience, which is, I think, perhaps maybe a poor decision in some respects, because there was a couple of moments where there were pauses, which are generally where laughter would be.
And applause.
But no, they didn't stop. They didn't have applause breaks. Excuse my sniffles. Sorry, it's the cocaine we have here. Musical Talk supplies a coterie of Class A substances. But there were pauses for laughs that weren't there, like between the servants, between the incredibly butch female nanny servant, who I particularly liked.
We had Carrie Underwood as Maria.
Carrie Underwhelming, who appeared to confuse belting with charm.
Right.
First off, the set was cheap. Doesn't begin. They look like they got the hillside from Argos. It was very upsetting.
For those of you who don't know, Argos is a lower form of Walmart.
Yeah. It was very enclosed.
Where you go in and buy stuff from a catalogue.
Yeah. I mean, this is Rob Marshall's directing, and apart from Chicago and some parts of Nine, the man has just made bizarre choices directorially.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what he does with Into the Woods. Disney's Into the Woods. Well, obviously cut Act 2. I'm
girding myself in anticipation. It's going to be fantastic.
Anticipation.
It was.
So who else was in this? Who played Christopher Plummer?
Christopher Plummer was Stephen Moyer, who was Vampire Bill in True Blood, for all the rich gay men out there who know what True Blood is.
Or fans of Anna Paquin.
Fans of Anna Paquin. And there is just something to be said for looking at the captain and saying, I have seen your penis. There's something to be said for that when you just go...
Maria von Trapp can do the same.
But you know what? I just wish he would shut his Von Trapp. He was terrible. He murdered Edelweiss. That was one more innocent victim of the Anschluss. All of his songs. He was ridiculously terrible. And then let's move on to the kids, shall we? Because this was Rolf Harris's wet dream. Because there was no way Kurt and Friedrich had ever seen a vagina or were ever going to. These boys should have been in a Bellamy video. For those of you who don't know, that's
who?
Czechoslovakian barely legal gay porn. See, Every Day with Me is an education for Nick Hudson. Look, all I'm going to say is when they were hiding in the convent, I'm pretty sure I saw Kurt sitting on a crucifix. They were Nelly boy. I don't think that would have hurt Kurt. They were Nelly bottoms. By the way, none of them were particularly kind of Aryan looking. In fact, I'm pretty sure Liesel was also covering Anita in the matinee, you know what I mean? And Rolf...
I like Liesel in the film.
She is 16, this is creepy. Rolf...
Going on 17.
Rolf going on, which is perfectly legal. Let's put on some Lost Prophets and have a wonderful time. Rolf is meant to be this Aryan god following the Nazis. He looked remarkably Jewish. He looked remarkably like he could be covering Anne in the story of Anne Frank.
That's okay for you to say that, Reuben, isn't it?
Well, no, it would. Well, yes, because I am one of the chosen people. But nonetheless, it's still not a controversial comment. I was just going, really, with that nose. Are you sure they wouldn't have had him on a transport? Anyway, let's put aside the fact that the two boys, Kurt and Friedrich,
Vile.
Yeah, Kurt and Vile, which is what they shall now be known. Friedrich, the older one. He looked so embarrassed and couldn't seem to save his life. It was just upsetting. The whole thing was just upsetting. Something had taken roost under Christian Ball's nose and was masquerading as a moustache for most of the show.
Were you watching it like car crash TV?
Yeah, totally. For me,
were you still enjoying the songs and still enjoying the story?
I couldn't enjoy. No, not particularly. I couldn't because you can't enjoy a song when it's being done, pardon me, either badly or how you disagree. It's like saying, oh, I love looking at a lamb as it gets eviscerated. it's like I love looking at a dove as it slowly imploded between two vices, or in a vice. Carrie Underwood was... I mean, she just belted the whole thing and just made these general American soap actory choices. And it was just this generic, hit my mark, stare vaguely, middle distance. And there was...
Was she playing it American?
Everyone was... It was... I mean, this was Austria via Tallahassee. This was a very Americanized... And yet the Nazis were in German accents.
Of course, they're baddies.
Of course. And also it was very...
English accents.
I mean, it led to the hashtag, when we stop smiling, we're talking about Nazis. That's how generic the acting was in this. With Audra being cast, Audra's voice is, second to none. But in my opinion, colourblind casting works as long as it's logical. As in, you can have colourblind casting pretty much at the point and past the point of segregation when you're setting pieces. Or you're going to be making a racial point. There has to be a reason. So for her to be the Mother Superior in a convent in Austria in the 30s is so out of place. It actually goes, oh, well, now I'm interested as to how a black woman started to become a nun in Austria in the 30s and then rise up to become a Mother Superior instead of washing dishes, which is what she would have been doing.
How was her climbing every mountain?
It was astonishing. It was one of the highlights of the show.
That's the important thing.
But also, I just have to say, there are some moments with Audra's voice, and I love Audra. Audra can do no wrong. But there are a couple of moments in the show when she's singing my favourite things that she still sounds like she's singing Your Daddy's Son. You know, she still has that incredibly dramatic, legitimate sound where everything sounds like it's coming straight from her heart. And that's what I love. That's what I absolutely love. But when she's singing Brown Paper Packages tied up with string, it kind of feels like she's still delivering the buried you in the ground kind of line.
Now, that's interesting because in my memory of seeing the shows, that happens in the Angela Lloyd Webber production. That happened in the bedroom. When the children can't sleep.
Here it's a way of the Mother Superior showing that she is truly on Julie's side. She's down with the kids.
This isn't something you might have noticed, but was the band live? Did we have a live orchestra for this, or was that backing tracks?
Do you know what? I don't know, but I didn't catch any of the performers looking at a conductor. But I will say the band sounded quite lovely. The band with the orchestra really sounded really quite lovely.
What was the point of doing this?
I think it's what it achieved, which is you go out to Peoria and you show it. It rated so well outside of the major cities in America that what it did was it got kids. Also one money. Sound of Music at Christmas is great, but people aren't going to watch the original now because everyone's
so festive.
Well, it kind of is, except for the Nazis.
And in fact, it's not set at Christmas time.
Look, let's not argue. It's set in summer in Austria.
I know, because it might mention snowflakes on whiskers of kittens,
but they still have to walk through the mountains in summer. But don't worry, it's festive because it's a family thing. But no one's going to...
Say Mary Poppins is festive, or...
Yeah,
American
it's all
Psycho or something. You know?
Yeah, well, that's my Christmas, is American Psycho. Mainly because of the first 5 minutes with the shower scene in Christian Bale. But getting away from nude murderers, Carrie Underwood. See how I did that segue? The whole thing was designed as a moneymaker because it will sell. Because you're reaching the stage where the kids who grew up with the original are now trying to find a way to get their grandkids or their kids into, watching it. So the new way is a perfect way to do it. So it rated very well. Those people will go and see a musical. They'll go, oh, that was the Mother Superior. We'll go and see her. And then they'll go and see Audra McDonald in, I don't know, Marie Christine, if they ever do that again. And that'll be the day I live for, when some family who saw her sing Climb Every Mountain goes and sees Audra McDonald or something in a Michael John LaCusa show. No, that would be amazing. The thing that I dislike is someone said to me, stop tearing it apart, Reuben. It was designed for kids. I'm like, so you make something for children, it's allowed to be mediocre? So that when they grow up, they accept mediocrity as a standard?
And to be honest, I don't think many kids really understand The Sound of Music, just because it has kids in it. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street has kids in it.
Yeah. That's a musical. Continue.
That's not designed for kids.
No. Well, horror movies are sort of designed for teenage to 30s, which is still kind of a
Do you
child.
think this will start a trend? Are we going to see South Pacific done with, TV, telemovie again?
It's a bitter pill, but I would like it to.
King Kong the musical is playing in Melbourne.
It is indeed.
You're a Melbourne lad, aren't you?
I'm a Melbourne lad. I'm indeed. It's at the fabulous Regent Theatre on Collins Street, which is a good. They've totally had to redo the theatre. They've had to gut the theatre and put in this thing. It's a huge budget, and stars the amazing. Check her out. Check this woman out. Oh my God, her name has just gone completely out of my head. I'm going to have to get a phone.
Laura Benanti.
Yeah, it's starring Laura Benanti. It's starring Laura Benanti in
As King
Australia.
Kong.
Please, that's a lot of padding. No, it is... Oh, for goodness sakes.
Well, we'll find out.
You'll find out in the review.
Once our friend Dom talks about what he thought of the production, and we'll speak to you after that.
Hello, my name is Dominic McChesney, and I'm lucky enough to travel with my work, so I often get the opportunity to see shows and talk with industry people outside the UK, which might, I hope, be of some interest to Musical Talk listeners. Recently I was in Melbourne and I had the chance to see King Kong the musical and talk with David Smith from Smith & Jones Management about the production. David is a Sydney agent who has several of his clients in the show. Several years in development, King Kong opened this year at the Regent Theatre on the 15th of June. Billed as a collaboration spectacle, the book is by Craig Lucas, arrangements and original music composed by Marius de Vries, and featuring songs and original compositions by 3D of Massive Attack, Guy Garvey, Sarah McLachlan, Justice, and the Avalanches. Additional lyrics are by Michael Mitnick and Richard Thomas, and it was directed by Daniel Kramer and choreographed by John O'Connell. Kong himself was designed by Sonny Tilders of the Global Creatures Company. I should warn you, unfortunately, the interview was recorded on a very busy street, so apologies for the horrible background noise. I'm sat here in Sydney with my friend Mr. David Smith from Smith & Jones Management. I've just come back from Melbourne, where last night I saw King Kong the musical. David saw it a short while ago. Actually, you saw it on opening night.
Opening night.
Because you have a couple of your clients
in it, yeah.
in the show. So we're going to talk about what we thought of it. And I've got a feeling that we're going to have a few opposed views. Or maybe, no. The thing that most surprised me was, as a grumpy old man of musical theatre that I am, and most of my... I usually only like shows that ran for like 2 performances on Broadway or probably closed on opening night and everybody hates. And I think they're wonderful. And Bat Boy. I actually don't mind Bat Boy, which is it's one of those weird shows that I should hate, but I kind of don't. Anyway, moving on. I should have hated King Kong.
Yes.
Before I went to see it, I watched a lot of stuff on the King Kong Facebook page. And it had the choreographer and the directors and the creatives talking about how they had looked at period stuff in the 1920s and 30s and dances and music, and then in the same breath they quickly added, oh, but we looked at Beyonce and Michael Jackson and we mixed it up with stuff like that. And I kind of was a bit annoyed because I suddenly thought, why can't you be committed to doing a musical and give it period? Because I hate shows which, I don't hate them, but I dislike and they jar with me, shows that don't keep period.
You see, I think the thing is that with the enormous budget they spent on this, they've had to kind of reach out to a wider demographic than the people who are just going to go and see a period piece with a big monkey in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I found if I hadn't have known the story and understood it, I would have found it terribly confusing because it was a lot of different styles and different periods, and it was a mix. And I know they worked terribly hard to get it right with wonderful new music like from Sarah McLachlan.
Yes.
Who is just, it's just incredible. I love the idea of that. I mean, you didn't like the idea of the way that it wasn't going to stay in period with all the period stuff, but I wouldn't have liked that. I love the fact that it was drawing from so many different genres, across the ages. But when I saw it, I did think it would have been more cohesive, and it would have served the story better if it was set in the time of the period, because the characters are acting off of stuff they have to do, stuff they have to gain, and it doesn't quite wash with the way that we are today and the things that we worry about and the things that are brought to our table. But you loved it. I found that really nice. But
I got surprised, because then when I heard the music, it was so rich and so these beautiful orchestrations by Marius de Vries.
He's lovely. He's adorable. He stole my cigarettes on the first night.
I really. He's done stuff for Baz Luhrmann, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, but his orchestrations are just beautiful and fantastic.
Yeah. He brings such depth.
And in fact, it's a shame because nowhere in here does it say music by and lyrics by. It's all musical and lyrical collaborations. But really, he is the genius behind the music of this.
Yeah, I mean, the man's got the brain the size of a planet. I did lose where the story was going. I mean, there's that very modern number in the second act, and...
Oh, you mean the one sung by Cassandra,
Yeah.
which doesn't quite make any sense. I mean, you know that he's climbing up the top of the Empire State Building, but you kind of don't need an entire 4-minute musical number to tell you that he's climbing.
And also the soothsayer lady, Queen Fontaine, who came in and out.
That was new, wasn't it? That's not in the...
No, that was in the original. The original First Night. But
was it in the original... Was the film the first version? I don't know. I need to check.
I couldn't tell you about that.
I've never been aware of her.
Do you know it was Hitler's favourite movie?
Was it?
Yes.
Was it really?
Yes,
I wonder if he would have liked the musical. So,
too many jokes, too much time.
That opening number about blondes, I mean, he would have loved that. Now, that was written by Richard Thomas, wasn't it?
Yes.
Who wrote Jerry Springer, the opera.
Yeah. I find it extraordinary that it's not that you can't buy a cast album.
Well, they have recorded it, because I did ask...
But it's not released.
It's not released just yet. Oh, you know this.
I've seen the forms, and it's not going to. It doesn't seem like it's going to be, which is a shame, really, because Maris has done such a wonderful job.
Well, I like the marrying up, and this is what surprised me: is when I was in the foyer, as I was going in, they're playing old standards. They're playing Rodgers and Hart. They're playing all these beautiful old songs from the 20s and 30s. And I thought, oh, well, maybe this is going to happen. Maybe that's going to be in the show. And then I was pleasantly surprised to suddenly hear, Buddy, Can You Spare a Dime? And I Want to Be Loved by You, which I think is much later, I'm not sure. And then in the second half, they got that brilliant Get Happy number where the girls come on and they've come on to cover because King Kong has escaped on the stage and they've got a cover and one of their wigs falling off. And that's very funny. And sinister as well, because when he's then in the next scene, he's killing all the people and they're flying through the air as bodies. Then...
I mean, it is beautifully done. I mean, it is a spectacle. There's no two ways about it. Like I say, the monkey is just incredible.
It is. Now, the way they tease you with that as well, you don't see him. See, you're dying to see him, and he comes out a little bit. And they don't show you the puppeteers until he's quite well established, at which time you've completely bought into the whole thing.
It's the whole Warhorse thing. You buy into the fact that this is a living, breathing creature on a stage.
Yeah.
And you don't see, you just, when you catch sight of him, you go, that's incredible. I mean,
yes.
And when he is sitting with her in his hand on top of the building, I mean, it's just breathtaking.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no two ways about it. But I came out at the end of it just slightly unsatisfied. I mean, I know that they had a lot of time to rehearse and and they were changing stuff and all that kind of stuff, but I still think it missed hard.
Missed hard. So the question is, did you care about the ape?
No, I didn't. I think it was a triumph of artistry over substance, really. I mean, I just sat there going, this is fantastic that we can do this, and I never actually lost myself into the whole. God, isn't this a terrible story? I mean, isn't this heartbreaking?
Yeah. Now that's interesting, because I had one friend who said that she cried, and I have to say that I was actually a little bit upset at the end when Kong died, and that scene with him falling at the end, that is incredible. Quite beautiful. Visually, it is quite one of the most incredible things I've seen on stage.
We've known each other a long time, and perhaps I should go back, while I'm in the same country, I should go back and see it again, because I think first nights are always nervous, especially with an entire black tie audience. Right. The Jeffrey Rushes and everybody sitting in the front, it's going to be difficult to get that right.
and huge pressure because there's all their peers in the audience and
Everyone.
everyone they know. And
The first night tickets became, Sydney was empty.
oh, was it?
When everybody flew from Melbourne.
Sadly,
How were the houses?
it was really bare. Really bare. I mean, it was a Tuesday night, but I was in the dress circle. I was on the second row of the dress circle. I think in the dress circle there was under 20 people in the dress.
I
The
have to
stalls
say-
were quite full.
Just to show how disengaged emotionally I was in it. That wonderful scene when he's sitting on top of the geyser or whatever it's supposed to be. I did think, he's thinking, does this building make my bum look big?
He's got very short legs. I did find the legs
It's
a
a
little bit funny.
monkey, of course it's got short
Yeah,
legs.
it's not, you can't call it a monkey. He's a gorilla. But
I know. But there's some wonderful performances and there's some great work.
we should talk about, is it Esther Hannaford who plays Anne Darrow? I
thought she was just incredible.
Incredible. But her comic timing and that wonderful scene on the boat. And she has this kind of dream sequence where all these dancing girls appear.
But do you know what? I love the fact that they haven't gone for Lynn Ruffin, who cast it. I mean, the woman's a genius. Without any
She hasn't
shadow.
gone for stars.
No. Lynn, she does a lot of music. She does a lot of plays. She does a lot of stuff over here. And without doubt, I think she's a bloody genius. She got exactly the right people, and she got the right people to audition for the director, and the right people got the jobs. I mean, it's brilliantly cast. And as Anne Darrow, I mean, she's just... It's sublime.
Now, I'd have to admit, I wasn't that keen on Adam Lyon, who played Carl Denham, the director.
He's got a very tough job.
It's a very difficult
Yeah,
role
it's a very
because
difficult
he's
role.
the nearest to a villain there is. I don't remember him being a villain in the other two movies, but he's kind of the comic relief, but he's a serious character at the same time, which is very difficult.
Am I mistaken in thinking that was the role Jack Black played in?
No, you're correct. That's right.
And if you're doing King Kong the musical, I think a lot of people are going to come with an expectation that the character he doesn't look unsimilar to Jack Black.
No, he looks like a ginger Jack Black. That's difficult to say, ginger Jack Black. I didn't like the rap number he does. It's fine, it works where it is, but we'll talk about, there's one song in particular that is just quite bizarre.
I think my
Later on.
feeling was that at the beginning of it, it was, the way they put it up, and it would actually change.
Yeah.
And they would cut and change and actually use this. I mean, because a lot of musicals are starting out in Australia because we don't get the kind of preview blog and stuff going on that crucifies a musical even though it goes, before it goes to the stage.
Yes.
And I think that's why a lot of people are concentrating on stuff over here. And I think it has had a chance to grow and to change and to find its own place. From what I hear and understand, they actually haven't taken that opportunity. I don't know if it's going anywhere else. I don't know if it's been picked up. I mean,
Well, there's the end of Act 1 finishes with that line, if nothing happens, that's a little bit embarrassing. Ends with the line, "We're going to Broadway, baby." It's like, that's very...
from your lips to the ears of God.
Opening night, I wonder what people thought. I mean, were there people in the audience going, I know it's not. But it doesn't come across as a turkey at all. I feel they've made a lot of right choices with it.
There are touches of true brilliance in it.
Yes.
The engineering and Maris's work and all that kind of stuff.
Well, the set as well. I mean, I usually hate projection stuff. And this is stylized, and yet it still works. That scene when they get to Skull Island, those costumes that everyone wears, the projections are going onto the costumes. It's quite incredible. And then they got
and
the characters.
And, and all of
Now the serpent.
What do you think it was like Chinese New Year?
Yeah, I didn't like the serpent. The problem is that the guy who designed the ape is the guy who did Walking with Dinosaurs. So I was really expecting a big dinosaur to come on and fight, and it wasn't. The serpent came down and he kind of hissed, and his little forked tongue kind of tickled Anne Darrow, and then Kong kind of grabbed it by the tail, and he got like a pulled off stage. It was a little bit. It was kind of a little bit more like a toilet paper trail.
Do you know what? I quite like that bit.
Oh, did you?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
It's just me, really. It
Okay.
was, it was opening night. Everybody went, "Ooh, wow!"
Oh, really?
It was a full auditorium. and I
Did
think
Kong
you'd
get a round of... Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No,
He got a round of
absolutely,
applause
yeah.
when he finally appeared.
Well, finally. I mean, it's just... And that... When he runs through the jungle...
Yes. Because they have the backdrop, this kind of
And
just
it's,
like...
It's whooshing past fast.
Yes,
and all that kind of stuff.
it's
just,
just...
and you get it. You just
That's
go, this is
my impression of an ape running through the jungle.
Yeah. So it's. Do you know what? It's a bloody great night out.
It is, isn't it? It's good fun.
It's a collector's piece.
Yes.
I think it may be, touch wood, not, but I think it'll be some time before it comes around again. If they go back and they find the heart of it, and it's a musical at the end of the day, and it's about a love story, and
it does end very strange. He falls, and then he lands, and then they just kind of stand there and the curtain comes down. I thought it was a shame that they put the final line from the movie 10 minutes before. They put it in the wrong place. Carl Denham gets dragged off stage. He gets arrested by the police, which is his comeuppance. And as he's being dragged away, he says, "It was Beauty who killed the beast," which he kind of then repeats a couple of times, and that was the big final line of the movie.
Yeah.
It was almost thrown away in the wrong place there now.
But you see, that's kind of my idea about it. I think it's all there. It just needs to be honed and to be. I think it's a shame that they haven't taken this opportunity to rehearse it or rechange, put things around and make it and take you on that journey, which I didn't feel that I'd been taken on. And the thing is, I'd heard, we've been talking about it in Australia for years, 2 years.
Oh, really? So it's been build up for it.
Yeah, and we've seen pictures of them building a Kong, and it was enormous, and it was so electric, and everybody was so looking forward to it. Perhaps the reason I feel like I do is because it was an anticlimax.
Right. Okay.
Because we know the care, we know the people, the artists that are involved in it. Not know personally, but you know their backgrounds, you know their CVs, and everybody has got just a terrific CV, and it just missed that thing that makes you, that turns you on to something instead of being an observer. That makes you actually get involved in it.
Yes.
That goes on. Instead of sitting back, you're in the middle of it.
I can see that, because although I was moved at the end when Kong died, there was one moment when I think it was that weird song, that Rise song, when Cassandra, the fortune teller, clairvoyant, when she's talking about the building, and I didn't quite get that, and then everyone does the same movement that they did when they were playing the natives, and it just kind of lost me a little bit there. It's like in Act 1 they have that very strange number where he's looking for Anne and he starts climbing up the entire screen, and it's like he's climbing a spider's web, but they don't actually say it's a spider's web, and it's symbolic of trees or spider's web, but he climbs it and sings this song, and it's very impressive. But what does it mean?
It hasn't quite made its mind up.
Yeah, what was that called? That was called In the Face of Forever. It's a nice song.
Yeah. Perhaps instead of believing in the one product and following one person's dream through. What is it they say, that a camel is a horse designed by committee? I believe, to a certain extent, I think that's what Kong is about. And
right.
I think that's why I walked out going, God, that's fantastic, you can do that on the stage. But yeah, should we go for a drink?
And what is the general feeling about it? I haven't read any reviews, but was that the general feeling?
I think that's kind of the general feeling.
Do you think it would have been different if it had been by a well-known musical writing team? If it had been a Tim Rice, Elton John, if it had been Lloyd Webber and...
No, I don't think so, because, of the names of the people they've got writing the
whoever
songs.
he works with
And I
now.
think that's part of what they've done with the cast. The star of the show
is King Kong.
Is King Kong.
Yes. But
So
I don't think for much longer. I mean, in the sense that I certainly think Esther Hannaford, she really was a complete star performer from everything. Her dancing, her acting, her comic timing was awesome.
Well, I mean, the fact she can throw things away.
It's a great role for her.
Yeah, I think she is going to be a star, quite rightly too. It's a big role for a young actress to carry. And she does it with style and class and elan and complete utter capabilities.
I've just noticed that the woman who plays Cassandra is the clairvoyant.
She's a big powerhouse comedy musical lady.
Her name is almost better than the roles that she's playing. She's Cassandra and High Priestess, and her real name is Queenie van der Sande.
She's terribly talented, and that's the other thing. I didn't know why. I thought she was kind of wasted in those two bits and pieces that she came on.
They're a bit strange.
She's terribly talented.
Incredible set of lungs on her. I mean, wow. And Chris Ryan? There's a brilliant scene on the boat where Jack Driscoll and Anne Darrow, played by Esther Hannaford and Chris Ryan, they dance she asks him to teach her to dance.
Yeah.
And he teaches her to dance, and it's completely unrelated to the music playing. And it's beautiful. They're doing this foxtrot and a waltz, and it does not match the music at all. And that's just before the storm starts. And I thought it was lovely, and it was very clever, I thought.
Do you know, isn't that bizarre? I don't remember that at all.
It's a very short moment, but I did kind of go, ooh, because I did like the boat. And those trapdoors everywhere. I went, ooh. I went, ooh.
I like that.
Yeah, I went, oh, that's clever. Oh, I like that. So, but they got these wonderful, they've got trapdoors everywhere.
It's just,
and people just drop through them. And
the design is just breathtaking. Set,
and even the
puppeteers,
yes,
the manipulators. I mean, it's
and the projection, which I saw The Woman in White, which was like playing a very, very boring computer game. But this was actually really nice, and it was very stylized as well. Although they had those strange characters that looked like something out of Silent Hill.
But do you think they established the world good enough?
I think they established New York. I think they could have done more with the island. I kind of almost expected, but maybe that would have been a bit too cliched. I almost expected the moon to suddenly turn into the Skull Island at one point, and it didn't. They just brought down these bits of silk from the ceiling, which worked, but I would have done more with Skull Island. I would have had more crags and rocks and weird things. And the opening back too, with all the Christmas and the elves and the very tight tights and the cod pieces.
I remember that strangely.
I was drawn.
Strangely. I think it's an eclectic mix, which it's going back to, I think there was too many voices in there.
It's interesting, yeah. I noticed that Richard Thomas, he only did a couple of numbers, because there's stuff by Massive Attack,
Yeah.
who I've heard of, I wouldn't recognise if you played it to me. Didn't they have a CD with a picture of a stag beetle on the front? I don't know why I know that. That's weird.
You talking to me about popular beat combos? I really don't know.
I really don't know, unless it was from a 1970s musical that closed on opening night that starred Celeste Holm. We have to kind of stop now. Thank you very much for talking to me about King Kong.
My pleasure.
And
I really do hope that it deserves to go much, much further.
They certainly need to take those elves with the tights much further. So,
Yes.
one word to sum up King Kong. If you had one word.
Oh, wow.
Or one phrase. Let's give you one. I'll give you one phrase.
A fantastic curate's egg.
Oh, very good.
Great in parts.
I would say, for me, surprisingly enjoyable.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Pleasure.
Mr. David Smith. And so there you have two people's opinions of King Kong the musical. Some of my other friends have loved it, and another has described it as a glorified theme park show. But if you are in Melbourne at any point, I would recommend going to see it so you can judge for yourself. Who knows if it will make it to Broadway or the West End, but I do hope we get to hear more musical offerings from Marius de Vries in the future. That would be very exciting. My thanks again to David Smith for talking to me. So from me, Dominic McChesney, thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Reuben Kaye, thank you very much for joining us on Musical Talk. Where can people stalk you?
You can find me on Twitter, which is at Reuben Kaye.
You do it.
I'll spell it. It's ReubenKaye. On Twitter, you can
There's
find
all those E's that you don't expect to be in your name.
I know, it's upsetting. But it is the biblical spelling. Reuben was the eldest of the children of Israel.
It's all those E's you take.
Yes, and then you can find me on my website, Reuben Kaye, and that will have all dates of all shows. I'll also be performing in the new year at Wham Bam at Bloomsbury, and as part of the Black Cat Cabaret Salon des Artistes at the Grill Room at the Cafe Royale, with with music done by the gorgeous Nick Hudson, my beautiful collaborator. So come down. It's a cabaret filth with fantastic costumes
That disappear.
that disappear. One of my costumes was stolen, and there was a reward out.
Reuben to come and get it. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you had a lovely new year, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.